Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Wanted to do a quick video talking about a game I picked up and just beat, and that is Past Cure. This is out on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. This game came out in February of 18. It's a single-player game. It was made by Phantom 8 Studio in Berlin, and there's only 8 people who made the game. So it's an independent release. The back of the box is pretty sparse. There's some little details, a couple pictures or a few pictures, but nothing crazy here. Um, I just beat it and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. The reviews have been primarily negative, and I could see why, but I was interested in the concept. I looked up a lot of videos and pictures and stuff, and I wanted to give it a shot, so I figured I would. I paid, I think, $9 for it on Amazon. I think now it's about up to 10. It fluctuates between like 10 and 12 usually online, and I think at GameStop it's 20 right now. So you're this guy, Ian, and you wake up in this sort of nightmare world. There's these mannequins chasing you with glowing eyes, and you have to shoot them, and then you wake up in your house once you're done with the first level. Not really spoiling much. Eventually, you realize you have these powers where you can manipulate time and slow things down, like Max Payne. You can also astral project and throw your like soul in the air and then like find things and touch them. Um, that's used way less than the time slowing down portion of the game. You're going to use that more to shoot people. I would say overall, if you were to put this in a genre, it's pretty much an action stealth game with little bits of thriller and horror elements. Those mannequin people do keep returning. Um, there are some stealth sections which were extremely annoying. They weren't overly hard, but they were annoying. And then usually the save points were broken out in bad areas. So you'd get to one point, do a stealth section, beat it, and then get to another stealth section. And if you didn't beat that second part, you got thrown all the way back to the first part. There are some puzzles where you move things around to try and make like connections in wires. Um, Mainly the game is like half stealth and then half shooting. You will take on agents and some of these mannequins that you have to shoot and gun down. The agents obviously shoot you back. You can pick up their weapons. There's like 4 guns. There's like a pistol, a warhawk, a shotgun, and like an Uzi. The aiming for me was a bit off. I felt like it like you'd have the reticle on things and it wouldn't perfectly like line up. It would sort of like move a little. So I would always like miss shots or the people would move kind of jerky and miss shots. I found the concept interesting. You really don't know what's going on with your character, Ian. Um, you're sort of led by this friend of yours who's a doctor named Marcus through the phone. He calls you every so often and like keeps in touch with you to do missions. I think there's 6 missions in total, and it's weird. It's like they feed you a lot of like little information via like pickups with notes. Some of it is cutscenes. The cutscenes were pretty good. The graphics are sort of reminiscent of something like maybe Xbox 360-ish. They're not great, but they're not bad. There were some like glitching that was on purpose, where like the things are flickering in and out of like consciousness, and they're all like blurry, and then they come in. I did notice some bad pop in where you'd like even in a cutscene you'd see something, it would be extremely blurry, and about 2 3 seconds later it would be clear. So I noticed that type of stuff a lot, where things would take longer to load. The game crashed on me once after I beat a really hard section and it didn't save, so that sucked. Um, you'll pretty much be like sneaking your way around buildings, shooting agents, again in slow motion if you choose to do so with the ability you have, and then sneaking around away from these like mannequins that are, going in circles trying to find you, and you have to kind of like sneak in between things. It's got a little bit of a creepy element to it, so I could see that the people were probably inspired by something like Max Payne, Silent Hill, maybe. What else would I compare it to? It's people sort of reference it to the movie Inception. I could sort of see them liking something like that and using some of those elements. They feed you little bits of information throughout the game, and then at the end of the game, they don't really give you a full story. I think between piecing it together and then the ending, you have a pretty good grasp on what's going on with your character, but it's never really fed to you. Um, I think that this team was ambitious. I appreciated some of the stuff they did, what they went for in terms of the story, um, but they sort of missed the mark overall. I would say the shooting isn't so great. The stealth sections I'm not really into. I'm not a stealth fan. The character design was interesting. I did, want to see what happened with Ian and the main character. But even the bad guys really weren't fleshed out very well to where I cared enough about them or was interested to see who they are. There's another main character that's a woman named Sophia. She's kind of an ongoing piece throughout the game. Again, you don't get a ton about her, but once you go online and read things and piece it up, you get more of it as you look online, I guess, afterwards. It was a great video I saw that I will link in the description, which once you beat it explains from this guy's point of view a little more in depth about the characters and what exactly happens. So it is a spoiler, obviously, if you haven't played the game, because it does really lay it all out. Um, the graphics weren't so pretty. The sound was pretty good, but I heard like muffling and scratchiness sometimes. The voice work was decent, but everyone, I think, was from, I guess, the local areas, so they sounded German. Even the American type accents sounded German. I think they were going for American accents. The whole game's in English. There are other languages you can choose from, like oh, English voice only. Subtitles in English, French, German, Spanish, Brazilian Portuguese, Russian, Korean, Japanese, Chinese, traditional, and simplified. So I guess the game really is only in English. The game took me about 4 hours, maybe 5, but it probably would have been less if I didn't die on certain stealth sections or it didn't save and then you have to go back. So those were kind of annoying. Um, it's an ambitious game from an 8-person studio in Berlin, and I applaud them for that. That being said, the game really isn't very good. It's okay. Um, I don't think I'd revisit it again. I didn't find the characters really like fleshed out or interesting enough, but I liked where they were going. If they were to do a sequel and really flesh it out more and refine some of the gameplay and the graphics and stuff, I would say, I would check that out. But I would probably give this like a 4 out of 10. It's all right. If there aren't any rental stores, but if this were like a rental opportunity, I'd say okay. Or, for me, I got it for $9. I'd say if you have like $7, $8, it's probably worth it. It's not worth the $20 or $30 I think that they initially wanted, but it was all right overall. Um, it, it's getting like mainly 2s and 3s in regards to the reviews I've seen on the internet. I would give it a 4. I think it's decent. I think it's ambitious. It does have some difficult points. Even in easy, I found some of the points to just be annoying during the stealth section and during the last boss fight. They were a little frustrating, but overall, it's okay. Not a lot happens, and not a lot it is explained. So I would give Past Cure a pass, no pun intended. But if you do like quirky, sort of ambitious Max Payne type games with horror elements, and you do find it very cheap, like I did, then maybe you could check it out, but kill a few hours, but I don't think it's something you'll really go back to. So, but kudos to the studio, to Phantom 8 Studio, because I think they're working up to something really good. It's just this one, is okay. Thanks guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.